We are super, super excited. I'm super excited to be able to be here with you. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan, and I'm checking this out. Like the buttons, all the stuff that goes on here to figure out this live YouTube thing. I'm a guy that goes live from the stage, right? I've done so many presentations live from the stage. This whole thing about being in my office and doing this is such a kick. It is such a kick. You know, with all the things going on in the world, with everything that's going on in the world, it literally has changed the dynamics of things, right? So I've been hosting webinars now. Like for example, this week, I've got 17 different webinars I'm doing this week. So it's like I'm doing a lot of training every week, but it's like, what? I haven't jumped on here yet? So, oh my goodness, I gotta check. Okay, I gotta bring my microphone down a little bit. So I'm excited to start showing up here and saying hi. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? And I know it's a strange time of the day, but I thought I'd practice this, right? Because I'm going to start showing up and taking my live events and making them live events here. I think would be super cool, right? So here I put together a message here of actually it's a concern. It's a really big concern. I'm noticing and finding in my mentoring appointments and in my trainings that there's a lot of scattered feelings going on, a lot of scattered things going on out there in people's heads. And with all the scattered that's going on, people are getting all gummed up. They can't think. They can't make decisions. Oh, and you know what happens when you can't think? You know what happens when you can't make decisions? You make mistakes. You make really big ones. Now, making mistakes is a learning process, right? But when it's like you're making the same mistakes over and over again because you can't think straightly, now it becomes a cost. Instead of a learning experience, it starts to cost you, and it starts to hit you. And you can't get creative. Because come on, seriously, you got to really get a grip on this. You don't realize this, but you've got to step into being able to adapt. The world is changing, and you've got to adapt. We as human beings have gotten so comfortable and so lazy about adapting. We just want to do the same thing every week. We just want the same thing to happen. But let's remember, everything in nature is adapting. It's our turn. Yeah, the world has changed forever now. Are you adapting, or are you still complaining? Are you still griping about what's going on in the world? It's like adapt. And where we got to adapt is we have to raise up the level of self-awareness and also our self-improvement. Because you can't just keep moving forward with the same kind of mindset you had last month. You can't. You have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you die. You get left behind. You struggle, and you're going to be stuck in your stuff. We've got to adapt. So where do you start to adapt? And that's what I want to show you. Is where do you start to adapt so that you don't stay in that scattered, fragmented, falling apart place of your life? Because if you don't adapt with what's going on, you're gonna suffer really, really big. So everybody who's in personal development, everybody who's in self-improvement and personal development, they already get it. They already get what it means to adapt. And so you get to shape it up. You get to shape up you. And instead of pointing your fingers at your spouse, your kids, your boss, your coworkers, your team, you got to shape it up. You got to get a grip on yourself that what's going on inside you has not been being looked at and being held accountable for the way you think and the way that you feel. If you're still complaining that somebody else is affecting your thinking and somebody else is affecting how you feel, you get to mature up a little bit here, and hopefully in the next month or two, because man, if you don't straighten up here in the next couple of months, you're gonna shock, and you're not gonna be able to adapt. So you got to start now, and that means really focusing in on what's going on inside your head and what's going on inside your chest. Inside your chest is where your heart is, where your feelings are, where it's like you sink because of all the stuff, or you feel powerful and passionate. So adaptation means that you're looking at where you are and you're looking at where you need to be. Those are two different levels. Where are you and where do you need to be? And so with, weird stuff in the world, anyway, you have to work on adapting. And adapting means upgrading the way you function. You're not using all of your human being functions at the best level possible. You're just not. You're just not. If I'm not, you're not. So you might think, oh no, Kirk, I'm good. And it's like, I don't know. Boy, I would work on fine tuning. So we're going to focus on the head right now because I want to keep this nice and sweet so you can get it, start using it, and digest what I'm talking about here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So, and I don't know if you know this or not, so I'm going to kind of walk you through this. What happens to you? This is what happens to you. Inside your head, there is talking. Yeah, every day you're jibber jabbering inside your head. You're looking at things, you're comparing, you're judging, you're measuring, you're listening, you're making decisions. Lots of talking goes on inside your head. Now, people out here, they can't really notice what's going on inside your head. So this is like a private discussion going on inside your skull. So inside the bones of your head, inside your mesh of brain networking here, you got talking going on. Now, it's happening every day. Like it or not, it's going on every day. And what goes on inside of this skull of yours is affecting you in the way that you interact with people and the way you interact with life. So if this is a mess, you're going to have a mess of a life. If this is good and orderly, you're going to have an awesome transition of adapting. Now, watch what happens though. When you're talking inside your head, that talking works its way down to become language that comes out of your mouth. Yeah, it comes from here. All your jibber jabber in your head, sooner or later, that ends up to be jibber jabber that comes out of your mouth. So then now you're talking out of your mouth. That same talking that goes from inside your head, comes down, comes out of your mouth, that same talking then becomes a noise outside of you. And it's a noise. And you hear your own noise. It's your language, it's your talking, it's your words. But this same talking then gets heard by your brain. And it completes the cycle. So what you think inside your head, sooner or later is going to come out of your mouth in some form, and then you're going to say it, and then you're going to hear it. And it creates this cycle of this communication you have with yourself. Okay, so what's so bad about that, right? Well, that's not that bad a deal, Kirk, if it's okay if my words come out of my mouth. Well, you got to look at this, though. Let's look at this. So you got to realize that, in life, there is a line. And this line has an upside and it has a downside. There just is. There's a line. And you know it. You know it. You want your life to go up. You want it to be good. And you want to know it can go down. And when it goes down, people call that bad. And when it goes up, they call it good. Because people say, hey, so what's up? Yeah, I'm good. And they'll comment about things being good. So it seems like their life is going up. So this is a direction we all desire, is for things to improve, things to go well. But also there's a line that things can go down and go bad. So how does this play into it? How does the jibber jabber inside your head play into what side of the line you're actually functioning on? Really? I mean, this is going on all day long, and there's jibber jabber going on in your head all day long. This has got to be influencing what's going on. Come on, you can stay on thinking that what's going on inside your skull is not affecting which direction you go. It's doing something to you. And it's doing something dramatic. It's dramatic. And this is part of the awakening. This is part of the realization, part of the awareness, part of the consciousness that's going on with all of us, is that we're being put in a position right now in our life where we actually have to look at ourselves. We look out in the world and it's like, whoa, look what's going on. And then we look inside to go, okay, how prepared, how am I with what's going on? And you know what people are finding? They're lacking confidence, they're lacking security, they're lacking that whole feeling like they are going to be okay. And people are feeling like, wow, I'm not going to be okay. Because businesses are closing down. People are losing their job, and people are losing their homes, and people are losing family members. And so it's like there's a threat. And when there's a threat, we go inward to find out what we have the ability to do to meet the threat. And you know what's happening? People are going inward and they're imploding because they're realizing they don't have power to move them forward. They don't have the confidence to switch to another job, to switch to another occupation, to switch. And they don't have that adaptability because their mind does not have creative power. Because they've just been letting the talking in their head go all along and just do whatever it's going to do. And it literally has disempowered them because of all the negativity going on inside of their head. We're having a major recollection of thoughts and our personal abilities. It's all coming to the surface. I don't know if you get this or not, but if out there in the world things are coming to the surface and things are being shown, same thing's happening with us. The same thing's happening with us. We're going to find out where we really stand when it comes to confidence. We're going to find out really where we stand to be able to manage ourselves, manage our thoughts, manage our emotions, and still maintain our lives moving forward. So if you're scared, it makes sense. It makes sense because there's weird stuff going on out there, but you don't have to be scared on the inside. Because on the inside, if you are on the lower side of the line, then you see things as bad. You see that you're not going to make it. And that causes a lot of fear and anxiety and everything. But if on the inside you've been taking care of yourself and you've been managing all this cycle of talking going on inside your head, you got your confidence. You're okay. You're going to adjust, adapt. So what goes on inside your head, oh man, it completely affects you. Okay, so what's going on, Kirk? Well, if you're inside your head and you're trash talking yourself, yeah, that's going to drop you below the line. Trash talk on yourself doesn't move you up. It just doesn't. I don't know how trash talk and dropping here is going to equal going up. I mean, it just doesn't match. If you trash talk yourself and you degrade yourself, you're going down inside your head. You're going to go down in your life. Let's just see the simplicity of this, right? The simplicity is you go down inside of your mind, you're going to go down in life. You go down inside of your mind, your marriage is going to go down. Your relationships are going to go down. If you go down inside of your head, of course, your finances are going to go down. Let's look at the simplicity of this. Watch this. If inside your head, you are on the up and up, well, check it out. If it's on the up and up, you can adapt, you can change, you can evolve, you can do something new, you can take on a new skill no matter how old you are. And if you're on the up and up, then what happens is you're on the up and up. I mean, it just makes sense. Let's look at the simplicity of it and let's not make this complicated. Let's keep this simple. What goes on inside your head is what's going to go on the outside of you. And I'm here to help you today and reach out to you to say, you got to get a grip on what's going on inside your head because it's cycling. You think it and end up saying the words, and then you end up listening to the words, and it's just sitting here repeating and confirming. You say it, you hear it, it confirms. Like you're your own walking self-fulfilling prophecy. You say it's going to happen, then you hear that it's going to happen, and then you think it's going to happen, and then it happens. And you're going to say, oh, see, I told you it was going to happen. It's because you started the whole cycle. So the talking starts in your head. The talking comes out of your mouth. This is your stuff. So simplicity. If you're trash talking yourself, you're going down, my friend. And you don't want to go down. No longer do we live in a world that is going to be all comfy and it's going to be all just fine. I don't know. I don't know what people are telling you. I don't know how you're seeing it. But if anybody tells you, oh, this is all, we're going to be okay, and we're going to go back to a new normal, you already get the message. It's not happening. We are in a position right now as people, we must adapt, but we must gain the power to be able to adapt. People are going to try to adapt and they can't. And they're going to wonder why they can't. It's because they've been trash talking themselves. They've been trash talking so many things, and they just let the inside of their head go bad and negative. And now they are going to realize that they are disempowered because they discredited themselves enough to drop below the line. The time of discrediting yourself today gets to be the stopping point. To be able to move forward, you have to stop. You have to catch it. You have to catch your discrediting, your degrading, your devaluing, your doubt, your condemnation on yourself. You get to catch that, turn it into a different direction. You get to turn and you get to catch it and go, hold on a second. I'm trash talking myself. Hold on, man. I gotta get in here. Hold on. I gotta handle this. And you get in your head and you're like, whoa, stop. And then you turn the discussion. You change it. If you let your brain wander around and say the stuff that it said before, you're not going to have the power to adapt, and you're going to struggle. And all these comments, this is so confusing, this is so stupid. All this kind of talk is going to take you down. Because they're talking about all the stuff that's going on in the world, but it's like, where's the people talking about what we do? What do we do about it? We need to change the way we're thinking inside of our head, and this is called little voice management. We have to manage our thoughts, and we have to pay attention to the question of, what am I thinking right now? And then in an hour go, where is my mind going? And then tonight, before you go to bed, it's like, where's my head and where am I going? But you're catching your thoughts. And if they're going down, you turn them. But Kirk, when I do that, it just feels fake. You can call it fake, but that's a misinformed statement. What you're feeling is it's unfamiliar. It's not fake. When you go to try to talk positive, it's unfamiliar. Just because you haven't been doing it. If you call it fake, you're degrading your positive language. And I hear people say that all the time in my mentoring appointments. They say, oh, this feels so fake. And I'm like, actually, you just mislabeled that. It's actually called unfamiliar. Because when you call it fake, it seems like it's bad, and then you quit doing the positive, and bam, you're back below the line. You're down below the line. And then your actions are going to end up bad instead of your actions being good. Like, you got to get a grip on this. You have to. Nobody can do it for you. You have to get a hold of the thought and go, whoa, where am I going? And when you go to say something good about yourself or how you're going to figure something out, and you're like, oh, that just feels so weird. Remind yourself, you don't know what it feels like to feel good. That feeling good is unfamiliar to you. You're so far down here, you forget what good feels like. And so now you're calling feeling good weird? That's when you know you're backwards. That's when you know you have flipped the switch in your head the wrong way when you call good bad. Whoa, right? Whoa. You got to be super careful about that. When you start calling good fake or weird or uncomfortable, you're incorrect. You are not looking at this in the best way. And so you get to switch this up. If I were you, I'd be like, whoa, I'm calling myself stupid. Oh, that is wrong. You ought to be busting all this kind of stuff down here and zooming back up above this line. Only if you want to move this direction and be able to adapt. No longer is it about being positive is a nice way to feel good. In the world today, those who are positive can adapt. Those who are not positive are going to get stuck. And there's going to be a whole new evolution of the human being. There's going to be a great divide between those who are stuck in their old ways. And then you're going to see a group of people be able to adapt and to move forward. And you're going to go, oh, man, I want to be like that. But you can't because you don't have the power because you ripped yourself off by trashing on yourself. Start today. So in 3 months from now, you got the power. Start right now. So in 6 months from now, no matter what happens, you can adapt. You want to be able to adapt. But to be able to adapt, you got to get yourself above the line. You can't stay below the line and think you're going to do good in adapting. You're just not. It's just not. It's going to turn out bad. I think you got it. I reviewed this like 5 times, right? But there's the picture in front of you. You're talking, it is cycling. It's coming from your head out your mouth, back in your ears. From your head out your mouth, back inside your ears. And it's cycling. And you may be in a bad cycle. A vicious, go down the swirly slide, bad. But you got to catch it. So, Kirk, what does this mean? What do I got to do? Just show you the common mistakes that happen first. Here's the common mistakes. The common mistakes is there's zero attention on what's going on inside the head. Bump it up to 2% attention. Maybe get to 10% attention. But give your thoughts inside your head, the talking inside your head, give it some attention. You might find out there's a lot of trash talk you weren't catching. A common mistake is a person will try a couple times and then they decide, oh, whoops, they spelled this wrong. You can spell things wrong too and be a trainer. Okay, so number 2, try a couple times, then it's decided this doesn't work. Whatever, it works for whoever uses it. And when you quit using it, it doesn't work. It works. Every successful person knows you have to govern your thoughts. Every will disagree and say it doesn't work. The 17 years that I have been personally mentioning people's lives, the common thing amongst struggling people is they go to tell me this doesn't work. And then I'm around my friends who are successful and I'm like, does this work? And they're like, yeah, it works. And it's like, interesting. The struggling say it doesn't work and the successful rely on it. There's something there to be said. Okay, number 3, common mistake. You pre-decided that you can't change anything. You think everything's set. But I don't know if you realize this or not, but every day, everything changes. Everything. The earth changes. The weather changes. Your bank account changes. Your body changes. By the way, nothing stays the same on this earth. Now, heavenly things, that's a different thing. Commandments, they're solid, right? Here on earth, man-made and woman-made stuff, it changes all the time. We change all the time. Number 4, common mistake. Thinking that one small change should result in a large improvement. No, it's equal. If you only do a tiny bit, well, then you have a tiny bit of adjustment. But if you really work on, really going to work. But just remember, this is not the weird side. This is the weird side. This is the side that's dangerous and hurtful and costly. This side up here, man, this is everything. This is your everything. If you're wondering what you got to do, this is what you got to do. Get in your head. Okay, last mistake that people do is this. They expect others to change before they change. I can't tell you how many people do that. They're like, Kirk, I would change, but my husband, or change, but you see my wife, she needs to change. Or I'd change if my kids would just be obedient. There's always this other person involved. And it's like, it's not called other people improvement. It's called self-improvement. It's called personal improvement, right? We got to get inside of our own head. That's what we got to do. Okay, so how do you make this work? You catch your destructive language and be honest. When you cover up your destructive language, you are deceiving yourself. I'm serious. You're deceiving yourself. Oh, Kirk, I don't have destructive language. You might want to look. You may want to look because you're going to find it. Oh, Kirk, if you make me look at it, it wasn't there before, but now you made me look at it and now I have it. It's like, no, it's always been there. We as human beings, we've grown up as kids. We get messed up by adults with all the stuff they say to us. And then we're teenagers and we do a bunch of things and we get stuff in our head. And then we cover it up. When we hit about 25, 27 years old, we cover it all up and pretend like it's not there. And then we're 30, 40 years old thinking, I'm just fine. And then I come along and say, look, I don't want to. Look, find it. If you don't find the junk, you're not going to figure out why you can't move forward. You're not going to figure, you're going to keep thinking it's someone else. So catch your destructive language. And you'll find it, and you'll be shocked how much there is. But just get it, find it, turn it, change it. It's called debate class. You get to debate against what your brain's saying, what's all piled up inside. Next one, turn your language into constructive statements. So if you do something stupid, then you go, whoa, that was stupid. But don't stay on stupid. Go, whoa, that was stupid. Man, I got to practice more. Okay, I got to work on practicing. Turn the statement. Finish it off with a constructive statement. Be the how do you say it? Pessimist. How do you say that? What's the word? Optimistic person. Be the visionary. Be the hopeful one. Be the one who believes something can happen. I mean, it's your brain. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm here to just kind of shake it up and go, you gotta fix some stuff in there. If you're not in the good place, you gotta fix your head. Okay, don't stop. This is a lifelong process. This is not a weekend warrior thing. This is not, it's not like, oh yeah, I did it once. Am I fine now? No. As soon as we don't have to feed ourselves every day, and as soon as we don't have to take care of ourselves, as soon as like something happens and we don't have to like feed ourselves, then we don't have to feed our brain. But right now, our brain food. And when I say good food, I mean good words. And if you don't change what's going on inside your head, you're not changing. You're just not going to. And it's the brutal truth. And it's very, 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 very out there. And a lot of great people are talking about this. And it's my turn. I join everybody else by standing and saying, we, the people, have got to get a grip on our minds. If we, the people, are going to have what it takes, we, the people, have got to get our own control of our own minds. That's what's got to happen. We, the people, have got to get control of our minds. And when we're going around being all negative, thinking it doesn't do anything, we are brainwashed. Are you kidding? You think down, you know what's going to happen? You're going to hurt someone. You're going to delay. You're going to procrastinate. You're not going to follow your impressions and your ideas, and you're going to become broke. And the problem in the country right now is we got too many people that are broke, too many people that are holding back, and too many people hurting each other. And guess where they're at? They're below the line. We, the people, have got to get a grip on our mind, and we got to move it. We got to change it. And where it starts is it starts with you today. You today. Catch what's going on in the talking in your head. Catch what's coming out of your mouth, because it's going right back somewhere in this process. Catch it and change it. Don't wait. Don't wait. The time is running out to be able to adapt. Don't wait to gain that power on the inside so that you can adapt and you can do some good things in the world, because we need you. We can't do this by ourselves as a country, as a community, as families, as people, good people of the earth. Get control of your head before somebody else does. It's your head. Get in there. Straighten it up. Okay, gotta go. But hey, I'll be seeing you again soon. I like this. Boom, I'm here. I can show you a cool little drawing. I got all